Hey guys, I want to talk to you today about some tips and tricks for helping you burn fat and build muscle. I get asked about this almost every visit, and I thought I would just put together a short video to go over some of these things. The cool thing is that it's the same tips and tricks that work for both things. As you know, simply stepping on the scale is not a good, not only measurement of your health, it's also not a good measurement of your body composition. You've got to know what's happening with your muscle mass and your body fat. You can actually be what we call skinny fat, which means your weight is low, but you have too much body fat and not enough muscle. That creates all kinds of problems in hormonal balances and metabolism, and it still can put you at risk for things like diabetes and high cholesterol. So body composition is key. Building muscle, losing fat, that's our goal. Here are 7 specific tips to help you, and I'm starting with what I consider to be the number one most important tip, and that's sleep. Hopefully that does not surprise you yet. We talk about sleep all the time. We've done multiple classes on it. If you are suffering from quality or quantity of sleep, both are important. We have done all kinds of classes. Reach out to your coach or me to help you optimize your sleep. If you're not getting adequate rest, you can't burn fat and you can't build muscle. So that's the first thing I ask if people are not moving the needle on these 2 things. Next, how balanced is your blood sugar and your insulin? This is key for building muscle and burning fat, and many people are what we call insulin resistant, which means you're going to have more and more insulin going up in your system and storing more fat in return or in turn. So what do you do to balance your blood sugar and your insulin? Well, that is all about what you eat and also exercise. So what you need to be eating are, of course, less sugars, less processed foods, and less refined foods, but you need to be eating more soluble fiber, more unsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. That's things like olive oils and nuts. The high saturated fats can actually further increase insulin resistance and cause more problems with your blood sugar. Frequent eating can contribute to that, and late night eating also. So all kinds of tips around when and what and how you're eating that contribute to your blood sugar regulation. And then the number 3 thing I want you to think about is balancing stress and cortisol. Cortisol is a key hormone that goes up with chronic stress. As you know, it promotes fat storage and it really hinders muscle growth. So if your cortisol is out of control, if your stress response is not well managed, you're going to have difficulty losing fat, especially belly fat, or building muscle. So you've got to work on managing your stress response and learning how to regulate cortisol before you can start burning fat and building muscle. Again, tons of classes we've done on that, tons of resources in the office. Heart math tool resiliency training is a great thing to consider if you're struggling. Reach out to us if you need help on stress management. All right, now we finally get to exercise, but that's number 4. If you're not doing those other things first, you're not going to get much benefit or results with your exercise. But here's the thing, you've got to be doing the right kind of exercise. Most people just think about cardio to burn fat, and it's very difficult to do enough cardio to truly burn fat calories. Cardio, which is things like walking, running, jogging, swimming, all those things, biking, raises your heart rate, raises your blood pressure. Those are good for you. They improve heart and lung function. They definitely improve brain function, help with stress management, improve sleep. But cardio does not help you burn fat or build muscle. You have to do resistance training or HIIT training, and a combination is really nice. So quickly, just resistance training means doing something with weight. Now, it doesn't have to be barbells and dumbbells, although it could be. It can be your body weight. It can be gravity. It can be resistance bands. But you have to do enough resistance or enough weight that you can only do about 10 plus or minus of whatever exercise you're doing. Sit-ups, put-ups, squats, push-ups, squats, lunges, whatever you're doing. If you can do 20 or 30, you don't have enough resistance to build muscle. And then HIIT training stands for high interval training. It means short duration, high intensity exercise that does help you really build muscle and burn fat. And you can do it in a short period of time. You can reach out to one of your coaches. Quincy especially has got a lot of training with this, but we all do. And we have some resources we can send you if you want to develop a resistance training or HIIT training program. She even has some longer term coaching program options that are available for that. Okay, Now, exercise is not going to help you if you also don't have number 5, which is rest and recovery. You've got to have adequate rest and recovery. Most people who are exercising and not building muscle are not giving themselves enough time for rest and recovery, which is not exactly the same thing as sleep. It's downtime, it's rest time. That's when your body truly builds the muscle, and it's key. You really shouldn't be doing aggressive weight training or resistance training or even HIIT training more than about 3 times a week. The rest of the time doing other exercises like recovery or cardio is great, but the HIIT should be no more than 3, max 4 times a week. All right, we've got rest and recovery. Now, 3 more things. Building blocks. To build muscle, you've got to have the body's building blocks, and that's where your protein intake matters. So people ask us, how much protein should I be eating? Well, that depends on so many factors, including, are you a man or a woman? Are you trying to build muscle? How much? Are you trying to still lose weight? How much? So that's variable dependent on your own goals and needs, but you need healthy sources of protein. And if you're having GI problems digesting or breaking down protein, going straight to amino acids, which are the building blocks, and you can use those in supplemental form, can sometimes help, or protein supplementation. Now, whey protein is a good source of protein to help build muscle. However, big however here, guys, not everyone tolerates whey, which is sourced from dairy, and it can create inflammation, so you have to be very sure if it works for you. But getting protein, amino acid building blocks is important. In other words, you can't build muscle or lose weight if you're not eating enough and you don't have building blocks on hand. All right, the last 2 are kind of big topics. I'm just going to mention them so that you know they have something to do with weight loss, fat burning, and building muscle. But really, they're other topics. Hormones is number 6. Sex hormones have a big role to play when it comes to burning fat and building muscle. If you're too low in your androgens, which is testosterone or DHEA, if you're too high in maybe your estrogens, you're going to have trouble building muscle. Thyroid hormones, adrenal hormones also all have something to do with building muscle and losing fat. So you've got to look at your hormones, get them into balance. And then the very last piece is inflammation. If you have inflammation from any source, and we've done classes on all the sources of inflammation you have to think about, you're going to have a difficult time building muscle or losing fat, because your body's systems are all going towards fighting that immune inflammation response. So you have to figure out what's causing it, deal with the source first, and then you can go to the next steps of putting into place all these building blocks to burn fat and build muscle and create the physique you want, the confidence you want. So I hope that was helpful, and reach out if you need support in any of these ways, guys. Okay, we're here for you. Bye-bye.